11:30, so I will go ahead and call us to order. Okay. And I trust that everyone has had a chance to review the minutes that was sent out, and I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes that were presented.
Move.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Alrighty then. Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded that we would accept the minutes of our October 14 commission meeting. Question to the motion? Question? Question? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposition? I don't hear any opposition. I'm going to accept that the minutes are accepted. Okay. I will yield the floor to the executive director for his report. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you, Chair. Sorry, I had some technical difficulties signing on. Here I am. I'm going to share my screen so I can show you the two reports that I have today. Let's see, share. Okay. You should be seeing the mediation program year-to-date report. Is that
Yes, indeed.
correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
excellent. So what I'm seeing here, last month was a fairly slow month in terms of reported activity. This month as well. I do know that there are cases that are being processed, and I do think that it's sort of feast or famine sometimes. And in terms of reporting, the next report I'm sure will have some of those cases to report on. But the only thing that I have this month is that we had 4 additional cases referred into the mediation process. And let's see if I can highlight. Yeah, so just 4 additional cases. So we have 10 cases referred into the process as of yesterday's date. And so year to date, we have had 3 cases successfully, sorry, 2 cases successfully resulting in a mediated agreement. 1 went through and did not result in an agreement. So 2 out of 3 there. And so no change from last time. The 2 cases that were settled successfully. 1 was through the Mediation Center of the Pacific, and 1 was internally through the Hawaii Civil Rights Commission. So again, not too much to report. I don't know if there's anything people want to ask about, but yeah, that's the mediation report for the month. Okay.
Okay. All right, next,
I can
unless
move.
there's some questions. All right, I don't hear or see any.
All right, so caseload report. So this is again as of yesterday, November 17. The big thing that I see, and I'll take you through some statistics here. The big thing I see is our caseload total active case number is at 414. Last month it was at 398. And I can show you as we go forth the reason for that. We have, and I think we've been perhaps anticipating, there have been quite a few pre-complaint questionnaires received and a lot of activity on the intake side. And I think that's predictable given some of the uncertainty on the federal stage. And there was a shutdown, of course, and there's been a change in the criteria for taking some of their cases in. And so that's, I think, resulted in more cases coming directly to us. But as far as the overall case numbers, so we continue to investigate, and there are some cases that you can see here, 2 from 2020 that were filed that we did resolve and conclude. And along the way, we had 1 case, 3 cases here, and then the additional number of cases from the newest batch from this calendar year. I'm going to go further down.
Marcus, can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
So when we say something, we had added 2 cases from 2020, it means that it started from 2020 or the act was done in 2020, or what does that mean?
Yeah, it's a year of complaint filing.
Okay.
So it would be, within the statutory deadline period of whenever the act or acts occurred. So we could go back potentially 6 months or so. Um, but yeah, so just to give you a general
So,
time
but
frame.
so the questionnaire was filed, but it wasn't opened until just in the period between the last report and this report, or
Oh, no, no, let me clarify.
yeah,
So, I think if you look at this is a total number of cases in our caseload. So that's a number that won't increase, right? I mean, like these oldest cases, two cases were filed in 2018, and
yeah,
so we would be
that
investigating
okay.
them. And so the only category that would increase would be our current
Okay,
year,
okay, okay. Oh, I see.
right?
Those are separate. Those are different. I get
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And so just in terms of the changes from last report, I like to
I get it.
give an idea of like what the progress was from the previous report, and you can go back
Okay.
and see that what's been happening. Um, Keep in mind also that in terms of the number for 2025 case files, it's not only what has come in this year as a new complaint, but also what's been closed from that year. So that's a net result, I guess I'd say. Okay. And I'll show you as we go forth what just in terms of what we took in is a pretty notable number, I would say. Okay, so in terms of let's see, case aging, um, we want to get this number down here. I've been saying, and we will continue to take every effort to do that. Uh, I think one thing that I've mentioned before is in terms of our allocation of resources, including staff work time, one thing that we cannot, you know, eh, shortcut is the filing of cases that come in the door, because there is, as I mentioned, a statutory deadline by which we have to file those cases. So you can kind of logically, if there's a lot of cases coming in the front, the front end, like we have to get to them in the statutory period, that may result in less, work time being done on investigation and so forth. That's not ideal, but I mean that's really something we need to always address and meet those deadlines. Okay. Um, Nothing really jumped out in terms of the breakdown by, where a case is in the process. Um, I'll show you really what I'm kind of interested in showing you. Okay, fiscal year comparison. We are currently working on our annual report. And so once that is official, published, we're going to add the last, most recent fiscal year statistics as a column at the end of this chart here. And that hopefully will be somewhat instructive. But okay, here we go. So this is the fiscal year to date comparison. So we're looking at from the beginning of fiscal year, which would be July 1st, and going to yesterday's date, November 17th. And so we're looking at that time period for this fiscal year and going back the previous four. So you can see, as far as the pre-complaint questionnaires received, 292, which, I've reported in the past, there was a downturn because of the pandemic. I guess 2021 would be within that. But that's really sort of reverse course. We're at 292, which is a high level. Um, and that's the one thing that we don't have complete control over is what comes in from the public, right? And we want as many pre-complaint questionnaires as possible. That means our outreach is effective, that people are contacting us with whatever issues they want to be addressed. And whether or not they result in a complaint, we want to hear them out. We want to know what the situation is. And so, having a high number is actually a good thing. So in addition to the numbers of pre-complaint questionnaires received, we have also intake decisions. And this means that our intake investigators have taken the pre-complaint questionnaires from the public. They've contacted the potential complainants. They've gone through an interview process and they've made a determination as to whether or not there's a jurisdictional complaint. At that point, it's up to the complainant whether or not they want to go through, sign it, and institute a formal legal action. And but that decision as to whether or not a complaint is either filed or not filed, that's what that intake decision is. And so year to date, we've had 271 of those decisions, you know, really at a higher pace than we have going back, you know, look at the past 4 years. Likewise, and this is a really high jump. I mean, 113 complaints filed compared to the previous 4 years. Um, at the same time, you know, we have had 75 investigations closed, which is, I mean, a little bit lower than the previous fiscal year, but still at a fairly good pace. We've also had 4 notices of cause and 2 enforcement closures. And those two are actions that take place on the tail end, you know, once a complaint has gone through, been filed, been investigated, and then there's enough evidence to take it to our attorney staff. And so that's something, you know, all phases of our process you can see are being, you know, added to here. So 4 notices of cause, that means we deem there's enough evidence to uh, go forward and try to show a violation at hearing, and 2 actual closures, you know, once that notice of cause has been issued. For some reason I can't get that on. Anyway, yeah, so really I can see some dramatic effects. I think there's a correlation, you know, with what's going on in the federal stage. And you know, I'll keep reporting on that as we go forward.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Any further questions with respect to the data report?
So, Marcus, when you had the breakdown of number of cases per year, and did you say that that number was uh, uh, cumulatively the number of new filings and cases closed? So
Well, it would be uh only for the current fiscal year, because we would the only way we would add cases is when they're newly filed cases, right?
Mhm.
So we're not adding cases from the previous years. They're in our caseload, we're investigating them. But when you talk about what's happened in fiscal year 2025, or actually, I'm sorry, it's not fiscal, it's calendar year 2025, calendar year for each of these. When you talk about what I report in 2025, it's the net. Like here would be the net, either increase or decrease. So we've had at least 22 new complaints, but I know we've also had, you know, a number of closures from 2025 filed cases. So what that breakdown is, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I'd have to kind of you know, work with the numbers in the database to tell you that. Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully that's clear. I mean, I think just in terms of simplicity, I put the net number, but I could break it down further. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, Marcus, I think a little bit of the thought here, or wondering is probably the more appropriate term to use.
Yes.
When we look at 2020, we see that there was a decrease of 2 cases. In real simple terms for our public, does that mean that we closed 2 cases in 2020 from 2020?
Yes. That's what that means.
Okay. All right. And I just want to make sure that folks who aren't in this line but are looking and kind of wondering, and with respect to the 2025. Now we didn't highlight 2023 or 24. So in essence, uh we could say that we uh closed out a total of 6 cases.
Yes.
Okay, since last report.
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. And then we took in a total of 22 cases since our last meeting.
Oh, you know what? That's what's missing in that equation is what occurred with the cases filed in 2025. Because if we had cases filed in 2020, if we had cases from 2025, sorry, cases filed in 2025 that we closed within the last reporting period, it's not broken down. right.
Okay, it's
It's the
not
net.
reflected here.
Yeah, correct,
This
correct.
is the
So
net of everything incoming and outgoing
that is correct.
and
Yes.
closing.
Yeah,
All
that
right.
is correct.
And I think the reason is because in simple math here, we got a plus sign there, and we only
Yeah.
think that we have received an additional 22 cases. We are not showing that we closed some cases. So I would recommend for future reports that maybe we just do a plus 22 for new slash negative, whatever it was that we had of any 2025 cases. That may mitigate any confusion
That okay.
if that's
I can go
possible.
ahead and do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate that very
And this
much.
is a report that is subject to whatever preferences you as commissioners would like to see. So
Okay.
yeah, certainly we can do that. Yeah.
I would prefer that for clarity. Mhm. Because when we look at the total down there, we see the 22 minus the 6 is 16. I'm not so sure that's the math works. I'm not so sure that what that message that sends though to the public to say how we are doing on caseloads.
That's I understand completely. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me
Thank you
remedy
so very
that in the
much.
future. Yeah, I will do that.
I appreciate it. And it may just be the summation of one section there, and you can parent two parents there, the pluses and the minus for the cumulative. All right. I think I'm clear now. So other commissioners, are there any questions or concerns? All right.
No,
I appreciate the patience and understanding. Go ahead,
I
John.
think it would be helpful to know also the number of cases closed.
Hmm.
Yeah, anyway, I agree.
Okay,
All right.
got
Thank
it.
you.
And I'll
Mhm.
stop sharing. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Any public response with respect to the data and the data production report? Okay, so I don't see or hear any. And Council Constance, we are ready for you.
All right, so good morning, everybody. There are really no updates on the docketed cases in subsection 3, Marcus Kawatachi as executive director on behalf of the complaint filed by the Paynes v. Perry Wagner. That case has been the hearing has been rescheduled to January 30th, 2026. So that's the only update on these cases. There has been a new docketed case, but it was docketed after this agenda went out. So we'll be updating the commissioners on at our next meeting. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions or concerns on the updates on the case? And again, this case has been postponed till January 30, 2026. Okay. All right. So we'll move on to some fun stuff now, where we're going to talk about, we're just about in the throe of the upcoming legislative session, which promises to be a spirited one, given all of the changes that we're facing nationally. We can anticipate a lot of changes, mostly from a financial perspective, because funds are going to be much tighter than they were the preceding year. Nevertheless, let's bring us up to speed on where we are with that. So I will yield the floor.
All right. I was hoping that, staff and commissioners can kind of have an interaction. So I know we have about two new commissioners. So that's about 50% of the commission. So we did want to provide a little bit of a background and explain how we as an agency approach, the upcoming ledge session, and discuss whether or not we want to adjust our approach or and how our position will either, stay the same or change on different bills that have been presented before. So What generally happens during the ledge session is we have two meetings, which is different than our usual monthly meetings. We have a little bit more frequent meetings because things happen so quickly. Bills are introduced, and we want to stay on top of things just in case we want to submit testimony. So HCRC staff is busy to prepare board packets, which has a description of each bill and how it impacts civil rights. It might not impact HCRC statutes directly, but it has some impact, on the individuals living in the state of Hawaii. It could be another agency that's trying to expand reach to marginalized or just, people who might not be represented as well. So staff will present to the commission a description of the bills and give their staff recommendations, and the commission will vote on it. And this is usually pretty lengthy. So our two meetings that we have in January usually end up lasting about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on the commissioner's schedule. There was a suggestion that we meet weekly, but honestly, I know everybody's busy in January, so I'm not January and February, so I'm not sure how realistic that is or if commissioners are willing to do that. Um, but at the end of those meetings, the HCRC staff takes the commission's positions on those bills and submits written testimony and occasionally does oral testimony on these bills, and then reports back to the commission. So we do want to make sure that we do have enough time to go through all these bills. I know I was absent last ledge session, and it's difficult when we don't have enough people, to monitor these bills. So, I mean, we could go two ways. We can try to meet weekly if that works with everyone's schedule to really stay on top of things, or we can also, decide that we do want to have more targeted focus on the bills that impact our statutes directly, and the HCRC's functions, while monitoring the bills that may impact other areas, of civil rights and provide testimonies possibly at a later date if as the bills move through, the committees. So that's something I think we should discuss to see how we're going to approach this upcoming session. I don't know, Marcus and Heather, do you have any other comments?
I do have some comments. I as commissioners, we're very appreciative, or we as staff are very appreciative to the commissioners for all the work that you do. And I know it's an ask, right? This legislative session is undoubtedly the busiest time for our staff as well as for the commissioners. And I think that's where we just take that role very seriously, where we do want to provide input, and we do need to get approval and have discussion with the commissioners on positions on bills that arise. There are additional challenges that we haven't faced in the past. One of the challenges is that we need to place discussion of specific bills on our agenda before we can actually have a discussion. I mean, this is sort of a sunshine law requirement. And so is it 7 days? Is that what the requirement is? Um, it
6 days to post the agenda, and then board packets must be provided and posted on our website to 3 business days prior to the meeting taking place.
right. So the 6 days, the lengthier period is what, we really are restricted by. I mean, we have to put the specific bills on the agenda 6 days prior to discussion to the meeting. And so because there are bills that are introduced and when we need to monitor them and sometimes some fall through the cracks, I mean, there are challenges with keeping up with what's being presented and with hearings being scheduled. And so that's where the suggestion is maybe we meet more frequently. I mean, weekly is what one thing we thought of. I'm not saying weekly necessarily needs to happen, but more frequent, but perhaps shorter meetings, so we can sort of keep up and be able to provide testimony. And once bills are heard, there are amendments made and new hearings set. And we just want to keep on top of things. And I think this session is probably substantively one of the most important ones we've had in a number of years. So that's just my additional feedback. We are certainly cognizant of the time, the effort that it takes to be commissioners and contribute in this way. And so we're thankful for what you all do.
Heather, anything to add to that?
I would just echo everybody's thoughts on that. And I would, if we were to entertain doing the weekly meetings, I would propose that we do it on a set day for a limited, a maximum amount of time. And then that could taper off. So all of the bills really are filed, early in January. And what Marcus is referencing with the short turnaround time for notice requirements, we wouldn't have to bother the commission and get their position on every measure if we had enough time to meet and get opinions once things were noticed for hearing at the ledge, because as you know, things get filed doesn't mean that they get hearings. But basically, by the time we get the hearing, it's already too late to have a monthly meeting when all of that's happening within that first, 4 weeks of the ledge. So it would, I know, be a lot of work and time up front, but I think then after that, you'd see how it could taper as a session goes on and even have a lull during crossover time and that type of thing. So I think it would just allow us to have a time that we could rely upon getting those things on the agenda and then having, breaking it into smaller chunks. So that's just my 2 cents. And I know there's going to be a whole lot going on this session. So it'd be good to make sure that we keep up with getting your folks' position on things that are pertinent to the commission, in particular, our statutes, but also things that are important in civil rights. So just my 2 cents. Thank you, Chair.
All righty. So, commissioners, one of the things that I will ask us to do is to see if whatever day I would probably propose lunchtime on Wednesday. It's kind of the middle of the week. I know many of us travel, do other things, and I would also propose and ask staff to support us with what we could review and accomplish if we did do a weekly in about 30 to 45 minutes, because I really want to value people's time. I also want to make it such that we are timely and responsive. Again, I know for a fact, and it's being affirmed here, that this is probably going to be one of the most busy legislative sessions that the state has had in a while. And we definitely need to make sure that we're doing our part on behalf of this people in the community. And so it is going to be a little bit more than usual ask of the commissioners. And if we have to collaborate to make sure that we at least have a quorum, we may not be able to have everyone here. Our effort really is to make sure that we at least have a quorum for weekly meetings. And then I will also, and I see you, Ray, and I see you, Peter, and I'll come to you. I also would propose to staff that to the degree that we are able to front load agenda items so that it is already known to the public that we are going to be addressing whatever it is, whatever that bill is or whatever. Now we're not caught behind the 8 ball. So those are just some strategies that I think that we're going to need to employ in order to make sure that we're able to be responsive to the legislature as well as our public and the state. Okay, with that, I'm going to yield first to Commissioner Nichols for his question and comment, and then we'll go to public Peter.
Thank you. First, I definitely support that increased frequency, but I wanted to just make a disclosure that this session I will be working as a legislative researcher for the Senate majority. That will also entail writing, participating in and writing committee reports. And so I ran this by the ethics committee to see if this was a conflict of interest or just for further guidance. And the feedback from them was that no, holding the two positions is not in and of itself a conflict of interest, and I would be able to do both. It's just if anything comes up where it appears that it gives the commission an improper benefit, then it would be wise to recuse myself. And so I'll have more specific information as I get assigned to specific committees, and the details of my work are a little more transparent. I'll relay that, but I just wanted to put that out there up front that there may be times where I'll have to recuse myself in the interest of appearances and fairness.
Absolutely. And let me commend you, Ray, for that and to the public. Our objective here, we do multiple functions throughout the island in capacities. And we owe it to you to make sure that you know that some of those may have the appearance of conflict of interest, may or may not bridge on a decision from ethics. And so what we're going to do is make sure in each of those cases that we've been judicious in whether or not that is a situation that we need to do a recusal. Otherwise, we're going to show up and we're going to fair, objectively, and impartially handle the items before the commission. So thank you again, Ray, and we will take that under advisement. I will go now to Peter, if you want to unmute and speak, sir.
A few comments based on the fact that I've been involved in legislative work for at least 25 years, both for the state and as in private practice. One of the problems that a legislative committee will have is that hearing notices are posted 48 hours before the hearing, and you may hold a meeting on Monday, but a decision is made on a bill after your Monday that may materially change the impact of the bill, or it may just be something as simple as an amendment to the effective date. And what DCAB has done is they have a number of policy positions that they put forth for situations where something happens after a meeting but before the next meeting. And following those particular guidelines, it's guidance for how to address and how to draft testimony for that change bill. So it's something that you might want to, there's something that the commission may wish to consider. What are our general principles and what happens in the particular situation where it's between meetings, but something needs to be said? And that's pretty much what I would say. And you could contact DCAB and they may give you some advice as to how they did and how they operate with them, which may provide some guidance for those situations I just discussed. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that advisement. In a perfect world, all things would perfectly align. Sadly, given the volatility of the situation that we're going to be facing this upcoming legislative session, we do anticipate that things will probably change on a day-to-day basis. Another reason why we want to make sure that we are going to do our due diligence when we do have the time for the items to be before us, and hopefully we will have done enough research and analysis and able to make good recommendations such that we'll be able to withstand those. And then on the case by case basis or the situations we handle, then we will deal with those on a case by case basis. Thank you very much, though, for reminding us of that. Anything else before we move on to that? So If you, now that doesn't, I don't think that at this moment in time will require any further vote or decision. I think I see consensus, commissioners, that we will see what we're going to be able to do here at least by December, by legislative time, for uh, the frequency of our meetings. I don't believe we have to make a decision to or finalize anything today. Take that under advisement. Is there a commissioner that has any kind of a strong aversion to that, though?
I just I'm certainly okay with meeting more frequently. Um, but yeah, anyway, I forgot what I was going to say, but I'm okay with it. And what Heather said, I think if if we don't need to meet, that's fine too. So,
True.
but it would be very useful to have those times set up in advance so we could plan around those weekly meetings.
That will be the goal, John, is because I know I maintain a rather robust schedule, including travel, and I know that I want to respect others as well. So anything that I can get on my calendar in advance, will definitely help. That's why I said, let's try to fix a time that doesn't impede, for the most part, other folks, and then for a shorter period of time, more frequently. Yes, Commissioner.
Yeah, so I guess what we did previously was not as frequent, but did like 2 to 3 hour blocks at a time. And I mean, really by the second hour, your brain is dead. So I'm okay with shorter, more frequent meetings. Again, as long as we sort of get to a consensus on, time that we can block out. Obviously, everyone's busy, so um, yeah, I'm okay. I guess I would prefer that than it was pretty difficult to go through the way it was previously.
Okay. All right. We will definitely take that into advisement. And I also, a lot of, in education, they remind you that there's but a certain length of time that folks are able to truly focus and provide a substantive outcome. So thank you all for that. And I will yield again back to council for moving the agenda items. Okay. You're on mute, Constance.
I apologize. I have a cold, so I've been coughing, but I'm trying to mute myself when I cough. We also have a legislative proposal. We're thinking about a bill to increase the HCRC statute of limitations to file a complaint. I'm actually going to turn it over to Deputy Executive Director Heather McVeigh to discuss a little bit more on this.
Okay, thank you. So we've now received some official policy directives, I'll describe it as, from both EEOC and HUD that have indicated that they're limiting or eliminating or redescribing the protected classes that they will be enforcing under federal law. So for example, and correct me if I'm wrong, Marcus, or for example, issues related to gender identity and expression, early on we were told that, that we may not be covered under our contract the way we have in the past or compensated for our work under those protected classes. And then more recently, we heard from HUD that they're also no longer interpreting the Fair Housing Act as covering sexual orientation or cases related to disparate impact, limited English proficiency as it may be interpreted under national origin discrimination, and also anything related to source of income. So So, we're lucky to be in Hawaii and have good laws and great coverage for civil rights. But the difference now is that anyone who has a claim and is beyond 180 days of the Hawaii Civil Rights Commission's statute of limitations only has the remedy of heading to court. And so really the gap that we have now in access to justice is going to be folks that are beyond 180 days up to either 300 days or 365 days respectively for EEOC and what EEOC and HUD would have enforced. So we were talking as an agency that, we could make an effort to increase our own statute of limitations. And I mean, understanding that you all just saw our director's report of the numbers and how busy we are. But, if it came down to us having an influx of cases, then I guess that's a good problem to have if it means people have access to justice that are no longer being protected under federal law. So it would be a no cost bill at this point in time because, anecdotally, there may be quite a few cases that don't come to us and go directly to our federal partners because of the statute, but we don't know what kind of a work impact that would have eventually until it would be, implemented and we see how it goes. So there wouldn't be an ask, for example, for additional investigators as of yet. But yeah, so in a nutshell, we think that if we were able to increase our statute of limitations to a year, then we'd be able to provide coverage and access to justice for those protected classes which are no longer being protected by the federal agencies. And then Mark,
so move from
you have any
180
comments?
Okay, move from 180 to 366 or something, right?
To 1 year. Well, I think we said 365, but 1 year.
365, right.
If I may add a few more remarks. Heather touched upon this, but I want to make it clear is that presently both the EOC and HUD have longer statutes of limitations than we do. For EOC, it's 300 days. For HUD, it's 1 year. And so the way that it works with our contracts with both of these federal agencies is that we have a work sharing agreement where a person can go to either federal or state, and either side can take and investigate the complaint, but we both would file the complaint. So there are occurrences where, for example, a person would come to us and they have an employment issue, which wouldn't normally be covered, but say it's 250 days from the date of discrimination. So we say, oh, I'm sorry, we have only 180 days, but we can refer you to EOC because they have a longer statute of limitations, and that works out, a lot of the time. And I will say that around the country, there are many state agencies that are equivalent to what we do, cover either employment matters or housing matters or both, and have contracts with these federal agencies. And each of these state agencies have their own statute of limitations periods. And so it's not like around the country, they all have 180 days. It's, it varies quite a bit. So in addition to what Heather said about the interpretation of the laws and coverage changing on the federal side, I think we all know that there was an actual shutdown of the government. There have been cuts in positions and funding. And so I think in terms of capacity of those federal agencies, we anticipate it'll be a lot less than it has been in the past. So just in terms of access to justice, it may be more difficult for people, even if they, would prefer to go to either EOC or HUD to get the type of services and timely service that they would be expecting. So that's just a little bit more here. And I think we as a staff are in favor definitely of expanding our statute of limitations period.
Excellent, excellent. And I strongly concur with that. I believe that we're going to have to respond in kind. One thing I would ask staff, with respect to their research and analysis, and are there, what will Hawaii's number, provided that this goes all the way through and is signed into law, uh, how will we compare to other states? In other words, are there other states that this models, or would we be a trendsetter? I think that as we communicate this out in the public square, I think it's helpful for people to know how we are, because if we are increasing, if we're like the 39th state to make this happen, it's not as much as it is if we are, the second, third, or top 10. Do we have any information on that? And is that even significant? It's significant in the context of we're kind of trying to lead, and we are trying to ensure that access to justice, expands all of the United States. I also think that we've led the nation in a lot of other places. So I'm just curious with respect to that.
We can research that. We can report back to you. I'll let you, Connie, but the one thing I would say is anecdotally, I know that the state agencies do have their own systems, but we are not alone in the thought that we would make some changes based upon what's happening on the federal stage. And I know that there are agencies that have longer statute of limitation periods to begin with, a year, et cetera. And so we would not be against the tide in terms of, ultimately where we would end up if it went to 1 year. So we wouldn't be, some sort of outlier. I know that.
Good. Excellent.
Can
And I think, go ahead,
ask a
Commissioner.
question? So Heather, you said there's not a request for additional funding, is that correct? And I know
Correct.
we have an issue currently with finding people, right? So have you guys thought about the additional work and how that's going to impact the agency? Since yeah, as my understanding,
Yes,
we
for
still have a
sure.
problem finding people, investigators.
Right. I mean, I think the thought was that we wouldn't want the barrier of the budget ask to prevent us from getting that coverage through the door. Whereas, if we did get this passed and we had a year of results to see what kind of increase it made in our caseload, then we maybe would have a better foundation to come back and say, this would really justify maybe one more investigator, two more investigator positions, or whatever the case may be. But I think my sense is that if it had a dollar ask now, it would just be dead in the water based on what's happening. So it is something that we feel, like I said, would be a bit of shooting ourselves in the foot. But if we were able to capture those folks that otherwise have no remedy and move them through, because I mean, we're kind of hearing from people that, there are a handful of cases that were filed under some of these protected classes, which are now, I guess, kind of languishing at the agencies. Otherwise, they're going to just be dismissed on, I don't know what kind of grounds officially. So I think the idea is that it's better that we're able to put it out there and capture that, capture the rights without the threat of having it go nowhere because it's got a dollar ask. And then cross that bridge when we get to it, kind of triage where we're at right now.
I mean, I think it's great, but this is kind of coming on the heels of the civil beat, article. So I'm just a little bit concerned about, is it going to put us even more behind? So that would be my concern about adding on to it at this time. But
Totally
the
valid.
concept, I am supportive of the concept. Just logistical issue or. Thank you, though.
Yeah.
Well,
Valid
your
point.
con
Go
yeah,
ahead.
your concern's well noted. I mean, believe me, I understand and take that into account. I do think we are in somewhat uncharted waters where we are seeking, number one, to make sure that people know that we still are out there to take their claims and enforce their rights. And we would be doing a disservice, I think, if we didn't try to adapt and expand, if we can, our ability to reach out to people and take their cases. So, part of it is, I think, yeah, we deal with it when we need to, but we also, I think, can really keep track of what the changes are. Let's say this bill passes and then we do increase our caseload. I think we can really track the increase. I think there may be in the coming year some effects about what money we take in from the federal government in terms of our funding. These are things that concretely we can report, not this session, but next and going forward, and really make an argument that if we want to do what the legislature, I'm sure, wants us to do, which is to serve the people of this state effectively, that we may need more money and more positions. And so, we can take the hit until we need to. Um, I think we just need to do this now and deal with it as we have to.
Totally agree. Two kind of parenthetical thoughts on that. One of it is a reminder of Dr. King's point about the arc bending, that it is somewhat lengthy, yet and still it bends towards justice, and it is going to take a little bit of time. The second piece about that is delayed justice. This may be delayed justice, for some people. So again, this urgency is now is the right time. There is, and we cannot afford. So given the options of injustice, and everything, I think that this is the right thing to do. Any other comments from commissioners before we move the agenda?
Just real quickly, Heather, you mentioned shrinking protected class, the threat of shrinking protected classes. Was the HUD and EOC also looking at shrinking the statute of limitations?
I think that they removed, the administration removed through executive orders, some of those protections. So it's much broader, John, than just what those particular agencies are doing. Another agency that is involved in this is the Department of Education, Department of Health and Human Services. So it is not. I know that we mentioned too that we align with and do shared workload. However, these particular protections have been gutted or reduced in across the board.
Mhm. And that includes lowering, like, for example, I think you mentioned HUD had a statute of 300 days or so. Are
Yeah.
they have they lowered that to 180 days or
No. So to answer your question, they still have the same statute of limitations. They're just either, on the HUD side, we are not sure if there's actually anyone still working in their fair housing enforcement office here for Hawaii.
I
And
see.
then with the shutdown, we've just had minimal contact with them anyways. But it was in writing that, they're cutting back on those protected classes. So basically, anyone that's beyond 180 days lost that access to justice before they would,
Right.
go to court. And I think all of everything we have to show that, people, especially for employment, when you're having employment adverse actions, you're less likely to have money to go to court, to get an attorney and go to court. So anyways, the answer is no, they still have the same statute of limitations. And yeah.
So but it's more of a resource issue in terms of the feds and Highway Civil Rights Commission wanting to expand their scope of work, including statute of limitations, in order to compensate for diminishing resources at the federal level.
Right. Just to make sure that people still have the same access that they would have.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anything else? If not, we will go ahead to and respect to what you staff, respect to what you're asking the commissioners to do at this moment in time, aside from us having some agreement, and we all are in consensus here with respect to this is probably our best course of actions. Is there anything that you need for us to do in the way of a formal vote or anything?
I think a vote might be helpful, and I'm hearing that there would
Okay.
be consensus because we are not sure how we're going to proceed with this
Okay.
position, but we do want it to be manifest in some way. So it could be
Right.
through our department package, it could be sponsored by someone else, but I think if we have confirmation that the commissioners are in support of our moving forward in this effort in whatever way is most appropriate, then I think that would be helpful.
I agree.
So
We
let
should
us.
put on the record that the commissioners, support this proposal.
So let me go ahead and formalize this. I will call for a motion for the commissioners to support an increase in Hawaii Civil Rights Commissioner's statute of limitations from 180 days to 365 days. Is there support?
If I
Or
may
is,
just
go ahead,
technically,
help me. Go ahead.
I think I think why it's like HUD says a year is if there's like a
1
leap
year then.
day, so I think
Right.
the 1 year I think is
180 days to 1 year. Okay. Is there support, commissioners?
Yes, I'll move.
All right. Okay, so it's been properly moved. I saw John give a second. Is there a question to the motion? Question to the motion? Question to the commotion? To the motion. All right. All those in favor signify by either raising your hand or saying aye. Okay. We have unanimous approval of the motion to give support to increase the statute of limitations, and that is now placed with staff to go ahead and move forward with the proper process. Thank you very, very much for leading this effort. Okay. All right. With that being satisfied under 5B, I'll move on to 5C.
All right. So in past years, we've asked the commission to approve or authorize staff to identify bills that were substantially similar to bills that were introduced and discussed by the commission in past legislative sessions. And this actually goes back a little bit to what Peter Fritz had mentioned, even if the commission has a position on a bill, it could change. And so we always ask the commissioners prior to the legislative session to start if staff is authorized to identify bills that are substantially similar to what had been discussed by the commissioners in previous sessions and submit written testimony on behalf of the commission, so long as there hasn't been a material change to those bills.
Okay. All right, commissioners, are we in understanding the request from staff? They are seeking support or approval to proceed with bills which are similar to previous bills and positions that the commission has taken so that we can get ahead and get our staff work done, our legwork done. Okay. And you've already been presented specifics in your packages. Are there any questions or concerns about some of the any of the bills that are before us or positions?
So I do want to point out and note there was an evolution of position of the commission for SB or Senate Bill 1496. And this was a topic of discussion, I believe, in a meeting this past summer, which relates to public accommodation discrimination and digital requirements to make things more accessible to individuals of the public with disabilities. And at that time, we had discussed, perhaps it's more appropriate to make changes at rulemaking versus at the ledge. So that's the only bill I would think that we might want to discuss a change of position by the commission. Um, and the other bills that I had put in the board packet is just to remind, we don't have to discuss all those bills of previous
Mhm.
years, but I did want to just share it with the commission because we do have new commissioners to refresh memories and decide if those are the positions that we still want to maintain going into the second half of this biannual session. So bills that weren't killed, in 2025 will be carried over, could be carried over to this upcoming session as well.
Okay. Thank you, Council. So, as I understand, commissioners, basically, we are going to maintain our status on positions. It is before us to just revisit Senate Bill 1496. I do want to preface anything that we do first with acknowledgement. Peter, you gave us information previously, and so I'm pretty sure you are raising your hand to again kind of remind us uh, of the importance of us revisiting this. So first thing I'll do is yield to you, sir, with respect to this specific bill.
Thank you, and feel free to cut me off if I go too long because I can be the life of the party on this bill.
That's okay. I'll give you 4 minutes, 2 minutes.
To lay a
You've
little
sang this song
foundation,
before.
the Department of Justice adopted regulation for state and local governments, and they provided guidance. Regulation provide guidance; they're not law. And 1496 was put forward by somebody in the blind communities, um, and just kind of copied it and put it into a bill, but never really read the regs and never really understood all of it and never understood the fact that regs are really not part of a statute. They're issued as guidance. And not only that, the bill itself left off there are some very important features, like the fact that there are defenses. I don't have to do certain things if the documents fall into certain ranges, and none of those were incorporated in the bill, but they are part of the regulations. There were some drafting issues that haven't been corrected yet that may get me to put on my Darth Vader helmet and start suing all the people whose websites don't comply, and that's more of a legal issue, and I won't go into that at the moment. But the bill is flawed, and I don't think that it really is the best way to do something to incorporate something into the law, like regulations, which can change, versus following the pattern that might have gone forward by the Department of Justice, where their regulations were just guidance. And so if I don't think I can do something better than the guidance, I'm okay under the Title II for the federal government, and you port that over to the state side. and over to the public accommodation side. And there is none of that in there. It means the only way to do it is to follow the web accessibility guidelines, and that's what guidelines are. So in my testimony, I wrote that, and I also took the federal regulations and adopted them as best I could under a short time frame for use as regulations, which can be changed. And that's an important part. It's easier to withdraw regulations or to modify regulations as certain standards and things may change. The difference between the standard right now, 2.0, Web Accessibility Guidelines, and 2.1 is basically 2.1 brought in a statement from the Department of Justice saying, we're going to use 2.1, which now looks to certain things like smartphones and mobile apps, etc. So there are a lot of technical issues, and I really don't want to bog it down. The summary is that it's not appropriate to borrow regulations that you may not really understand and put them into a statute and not even incorporate all of the things that should be in the statute to protect the companies. And then there also was the issue that many of the legislatures didn't realize that these standards apply to their personal websites for their businesses. And many of the agencies didn't realize that either because they kept on saying, this will really help our agent to do stuff. So it's up to the commission to decide how to move forward, but I think, or I would ask that the commission seriously consider putting it forward in a situation that these are regulations and we issue regulations and we don't incorporate regulations into anything else that we've done because we need the flexibility of regulations rather than coming back to the legislature. And we think this bill should be held. This bill made it all the way up to conference and didn't make it any further. So that's another thing to consider. And I thank you for your patience.
All right. Well, thank you very much as a community person providing substantive information. We know that we're going to be able to count on you as this process moves forward. Okay. Thank you, Peter. All right. With that, commissioners, what I will ask did we take a vote on this to approve staff going forward on this?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. So council, thank you. Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion that we approve staff to go ahead and work for the new legislative session, the previous positions that the commissioners have taken. Is there support?
I so move.
Thank you. Second. All right, I see a second. All right, so it's been properly moved and seconded that we would authorize staff to go ahead and move forward with preparation for the new legislative session based on previous positions held, as well as a specific visit of Senate Bill 1496. Question to the motion, question to the motion. Question is properly before us. All those in favor, raise your hand or say aye. Okay, I see the motion is adopted. Okay, thank you very much, Council. I'm sorry. Okay, now let's see. That takes care of that. Council, is there anything else or we can move to item number 6 if not?
We can move on. Thank you.
Okay, so we will move on to agenda item 6.
Okay, so agenda item 6 deals with the Kamehameha admission policy, which has been in the news recently. So occasionally the commission is asked or by its own volition decides to put forth a statement either in support or opposition of certain events that have happened. So we did want to just bring this forward to the commission to see if if they feel like it's in their powers and duties as a Civil Rights Commission to put forth a statement in support of the Kamehameha Schools admission policy. There is an executive session on the agenda, but we don't have to go into it if the commissioners decide to discuss this in open session. But we did want to have it on the agenda for discussion.
Okay. Commissioners, you've had a chance to read the recommended position for the Civil Rights Commission. Does anyone see a need for us to go into executive session? I personally am in agreement, and I think that we could just adopt the position. Is there any commissioner who would prefer to go into executive session to discuss? I don't see any. Therefore, I would entertain a motion to adopt the Civil Rights Commission support for Kamehameha Schools as presented. Raise your hand. I see a motion and I see a second. Okay, the motion is properly before us to support the Kamehameha Schools admissions policy and properly moved and seconded. Is there a question? Question? Question. All those in favor, you can raise your hand or say aye. All right. The motion, anyone opposed? I see none. All right. So that also is unanimous. Okay. We will move on to agenda item number 7. That was a due out from a previous. I'll yield to the either council or executive director. And briefly, we just wanted, as our last item here, just kind of address one of the issues that previously came up. So yeah, so either council or the executive director, could we discuss with respect to the rules, the procedures to make sure that we are compliant with respect to the hirings of individuals, specifically personnel and hearing examiners, etc.
Okay, so I know I wasn't part of, or I didn't participate in the last commission meeting when this issue came up. And I understand that there was some discussion and staff was going to do a little bit more research on this because hearing examiners are a little bit unique in that they're by contract, they're not employees. So as far as I know, we haven't completed the research that we wanted to do. We're going to reach out to some people, and so we haven't really been able to yet. But we will be able to, if we are able to push this back to the next agenda, we would be able to have a better report on this issue.
Excellent. I am at this time going to table item 7. And the reason is because, again, I love that we are going to be as transparent as we can. This is a issue to ensure that we as a civil rights entity are compliant with all governance that others are subject to. And so I appreciate staff doing research and being able to provide not only the commissioners, but the public the same. So thank you all. We will table item number 7. Under number 8, our next meeting date will be December, and that is going to be I just had it in December, is it December 16th? December 16th at 11:30 a.m. provided the commissioners advise that that may be a conflict. Tentatively, that would be our next meeting date. And
Sorry, what was
I
the
think
date?
December 16,
Oh,
11:30 a.m. Okay. Just one other announcement. The Civil Rights Commission always participates in the annual Dr. Martin Luther King events and activities. And so I know that those are being formulated now. And so we do look forward to having a presence in the community. Again, the 2026 Martin Luther King events and activities. That will be the parade, the rally, there's a dinner, and we will see what other activities and events that it may be appropriate for us to have representation. Okay. Is there any other announcements that the commissioners may have? Staff? Anything? Public? Anything? If not, I do appreciate everyone's time. I know that this was a little bit longer than previous, so I know that we got a lot accomplished. And again, we won't see you all. I do want to personally ask you to enjoy the holiday coming up and continue to stay safe. Safe travels to those that will be traveling. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move.
All righty. And it is there anyone that has, there it is right there. Okay. By acclamation, we are adjourning at 12:47. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Please stay safe. Thank you and aloha.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Aloha.
Thanks, commissioners.
Thank